I have finally obtained a new Super Nintendo power adapter, so you know what that means? It is time. Check out the RetroTink VGA adapter for Super Nintendo. So for anyone that is unaware, Mike Chi announced back in December that he is creating a series of VGA adapters for a few systems. So we have Super Nintendo, which we're going to be demoing in today's video, PlayStation 1, which I have in a previous video, which will be linked in the description below if you want to check that one out, and then Model 2 Sega Genesis systems. So these are just a nice option for anyone building out a new setup or wanting to change to a different method of setup with the scalable video switch coming out and all that. But it pulls from the RGB lines of the Super Nintendo. It's all 75 ohm resistance, it's all shielded, it's all very, very nice. And then you can just combine it with a VGA cable to hook into the RetroTink 4K, and it is all very seamless. It's just nice and plug and play. Well, it would be nice and plug and play if I could actually plug and play it, but that's just my problem right there. So you can see it just goes in, screw it down, and then screw it down to the VGA port on the back of the RetroTink. And it has this nice 3.5mm breakout that you plug right into the adapter itself, or if you want to plug headphones in there, it can work for that as well. But again, very nice and seamless. Now, as for the console side of things, so Super Nintendo systems, all of them were RGB compatible except for the junior models. But of course, there were a lot of different models of Super Nintendo systems, with of course the one-chip model being the holy grail that everyone wants. They're the ones that put out the cleanest video, and then all non-one-chip models just have a bit of smearing to them. This is unfortunately not a one-chip model, which is why I have this Junior modded with Voltar's RGB amp for Super Nintendo. I don't know if that's what it's called, but anyway. This is the one I'm going to be using for testing today just to get the cleanest picture possible. I'll throw up some comparison images with my non-one-chip model, but all Juniors are one-chip. It's just that you have to do a mod to restore RGB output. But I just want to show you real quick how fast it is to get this set up and going with optimal sampling and just looking so nice and crisp. Alright, so here we are, RetroTink 4K. It's just on HDMI by default, so I'm just going to show you again how quick it is to get this adapter set up and running at optimal timings here. So we're just going to commandeer one of the pre-existing profiles from Wobbling Pixels for this one. We're just going to go into Load from File, head down to Nintendo, Super Famicom, right here. And we're going to take the Wobbling Pixels Razor Sharp profile. And we're just going to grab this first one right here, Square Pixels and Integer Scaled, Razor Sharp. So there we go. So now all we need to do is change the input over to our HD15 port here and choose RGBS, and there it is. So already have it loaded up into the 240p test suite so we can get this to look really nice and crisp. So as you can see, it's got a bit of ghosting to it right now, but we'll just go down to the checkerboard here. And we're just gonna zoom this in real quick. So go down to advanced settings, scaling, cropping here. And we're just going to zoom this in quite a bit. All right. Now we'll run an auto gain to get our color calibration. And now auto phase to get that to look nice and crisp. And yep, that's looking really nice so far. So we're just going to go ahead and zoom that back out. And then just going to adjust the cropping here. And there we go. And now I'm just going to go ahead and save that profile for future use. But going into some of the other tests, you can see that these are just looking really crisp and sharp. It's fantastic. And then, of course, there are some Super Nintendo games that are interlaced. So going down to the video input mode, we could change this over and do the same thing. We can go back into the checkerboard here. get this phased correctly. So something along those lines. But after you have both video modes set, remember to save your profile. Well, let's check out how this looks in games. Alright, so here we are in Mega Man X2. So I noticed a couple things real quick. Now that we are actually in a game, I'm seeing that there is a little bit of ghosting happening to the right of the pixels, and that just means I have some extra adjustments to make within the RetroTink 4K menu here. So we're actually going to go down to sample rate detection, and we're going to turn off the auto decimation phase here. So that way we can come up into the RGB/component ADC, and we could change the decimation phase manually to get it so that way this looks correct. Because we don't want any of that ghosting. That's a non-one chip feature. We don't want that for our one chip mod here. Alright, so still getting it a little bit here. Now we're getting it off to the left. So 10 looks like it's the best, but just gonna run another auto phase just to make sure everything is as good as possible here. But it really wants us to have that light ghosting going on. There we go. That right there, that's where we want it. Much better, much better. Alright, so now that we got that fixed, just going to go ahead and save the profile once again, just because don't want to have to deal with that again. There we go. Everything's looking absolutely beautiful now. But now for some actual gameplay in Mega Man X2 here. So I made one more adjustment I didn't show on camera, and that was just to change it to 4:3 pixel aspect ratio instead of 1:1. Super Nintendo is an 8:7 by default, but I prefer the look of 4:3. It seems to be more natural and what games were meant for. Guess I should have chosen wobbling pixels, sharp profile instead of razor sharp, but whatever. Not really a big deal. Easy enough to change. But everything is looking really good. It is nice and crisp. Analog signal noise is kept in check. Very unnoticeable unless you really look for it in the solid background colors. It just looks really clean and perfect with this modded Super Nintendo Junior, which is of course a one chip. But as I started Mega Man X2, there is one issue that I noticed right off the bat, and that is that there is no right audio channel to be found on my prototype adapter. So you're hearing sound through both of your speakers right now in this video, but the right audio channel is missing. So I let Mike know about this, he's aware, it's not going to be an issue in the final product, but for this prototype, it's just something I have to deal with, and that's a-okay. Not a big deal because, again, it's a prototype and it's a test sample. That is the point of it. But video-wise, there's nothing to complain about here. Like, it just looks so good. It is pristine. I'm just so happy with this. And again, it is going to be perfect for anyone that is just starting out with a new RetroTink 4K setup or switching over from a previous setup to use with something like the SVS to use with the RetroTink 4K Pro or CE. Like, it's really nice. It's right up there with the best video products out there for the Super Nintendo. Like, it's great. I'm loving this. Now, if only my Mega Man X2 skills weren't so rusty, it's been the whole 6 months since I last played the game. How could I get so bad that quickly? Oh well. Now, for those of you that don't have a one-chip Super Nintendo model or an RGB modded Junior, this is the image quality you can expect from this adapter. So, as you can see, it isn't as clean as the previous video of Mega Man X2. So there's a lot of pixel smearing happening to the right side of the pixels. Again, that is just how Super Nintendo video is on non-one-chip models. So I went through and got everything as optimized as I could once again for this bigger Super Nintendo I have in my collection. And it still looks good, just not as clean. So, I mean, if you were to throw scan lines and masks and other features like that the RetroTink 4Ks have on offer, it's a lot less noticeable, but for those of you looking for the sharpest image output quality possible, you really need to get a one-chip model SNES or a modded SNES Junior, or you can take advantage of Voltar's new SNES Edge adapter to fix all non-one-chip models. I believe that those modding services are still only offered through Voltar himself, but it is available for you to send in your system to get it fixed up to look as clean as, well, nearly as clean as the one-chip models. But other things I've noticed on this one, there are more noticeable jill bars happening on the background images, but other than that, the signal noise seems to be relatively similar, so still looks really good. And if you're used to the smeared look of a Super Nintendo, like, you're probably not going to care about that at all, and it's still just a great way to hook up your system. It looks really good. Like, again, it's up there with the best. So first impressions of the RetroTink VGA adapter are really strong. Unfortunately, this particular prototype does suffer from the fact that it has no right audio channel, but otherwise, everything about it is just so golden. I have 3 more game demos to share with you all using this adapter, but before we dive into that, I just want to take a moment to let you all know that I'm trying to secure the future of this channel, and am just letting everyone know that we have revamped memberships for YouTube, and if you are interested in seeing this channel continue to go on into the future and grow and expand, you can hit that join button here on YouTube, and just for as little as $1, you could get early access to all of my future videos and be a part of the community voting process for all of our weekly retro reviews and other content that requires voting game of the month, things like that. But just thank you for your consideration, and just a big thank you to all of our current backers as always, just for being part of that support. Y'all are amazing. But let's go ahead and check out a few more game demos.
I ate like a pig. Cool. 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 Cool.
So what did you think? Are you excited about the upcoming RetroTink VGA adapters for PlayStation, Super Nintendo, and Genesis? They're going to be going for about $29.99 each. I'm not sure how much the VGA cables are going to be going for yet, unfortunately, but the adapters themselves are pretty fairly priced in my opinion, considering what you're getting out of them. And honestly, like, the first impressions on all of them have been really solid so far. So just excited to see those final revisions that just clear up the last few remaining little hiccups. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Hope you found it informative. And if you're interested in checking out the VGA adapters for these systems, links will be in the description below. But here at the end, just the usual favors. If you haven't already, thumbs up, thumbs down, depending on how much you like this video. And please be sure to hit that sub button and notification bell so you can see when new videos go live on the channel. Loads always coming your way, and we'd love to have you all along for the ride. And just to reiterate, if you'd like to see this channel continue to grow, please check out that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Little as $1 a month gets you all the perks that the channel has to offer, and just a big thank you again to all of our current backers. But until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, you all stay awesome, keep on gaming, and we'll see you all back next video.